So here's why I'm a little upset today. So tomorrow, and the reason you watch me and listen to me is because I keep you ahead of the news curve, as I said in my message of the day this morning. So tomorrow, Joe Biden, is going to propose his budget. It is the most irresponsible budget I have seen in the history of this country. Mr. Biden wants $6 trillion in new spending. $6 trillion. Okay? So he's going to run a deficit over the next 10 years of $1.3 trillion a year. A year. That means the government will pay out $1.3 trillion more than it takes in. And Biden thinks this is responsible. All right? So why is he doing this? He's doing this because he believes that poor people should be raised up by the government to middle class status. He wants to give poor Americans money so that they raise up economically to a middle class status. That's what this is all about when you strip it away. Okay, this is socialism. There's no doubt about it. Now, in order to make this happen, he has to tax everybody, not just the rich. Don't buy that. That's just a lie. He's got to tax everybody to even come close to covering $6 trillion in new spending. And everybody will pay more. And they'll hit you on gasoline, heating oil. They're trying to get internet taxes passed, income taxes, investment taxes, death taxes. Everything's up. And in the blue states like New York, where I am, the state will then follow. So what this does is it strips Americans of assets. So most people don't have much anyway. They spend what they make, which is beyond foolish, by the way. But they do. Lack of discipline, whatever it may be. They don't make a lot of money and they have a lot of expenses. If you have 8 kids and you're making $50,000, $60,000 a year, you're going to be poor. Okay? So the people that do have assets and do have savings and worked hard to put that money in a bank and invest that money, the government wants to strip those assets away, take them away in order to raise up the people who don't have very much to middle class status. Okay, so this is what this is all about. And by 2028, 7 years from now, all right, the federal government in Washington would be collecting more tax revenue as a share of the total economy than at any other point in American history. So even though we fought World War I, World War II, the Civil War, we're going to dwarf that. And there's no reason for this. So in the Trump economy, the private sector was driving wages up and job creation up. That wasn't the government doing it. It was the private sector because Trump said, if you are successful, you keep more profits. That was the corporate tax cut. So everybody in the country who was working was benefiting because wages were going up, because business was expanding. Now they've wiped that out. And the government wants to control the economy. So, enter this day in history. Stay with me now. Okay? 86 years ago today, May 27th, 1935, the Supreme Court unanimously ruled that President Roosevelt's National Recovery Act was unconstitutional. Nobody knows this. Nobody will report this except me, because I'm a historian and a reporter. So what was the National Recovery Act all about? It's the same thing Biden's doing now. FDR, in the middle of a depression, wanted Washington to run the American economy. So he put this into an act, all right, whereby the feds would control by regulation, by taxation, every part of the private economy. Supreme Court said, no, you can't do it. Here's the summary up on the screen. Summary of the Supreme Court ruling. The act gives the Roosevelt administration too much power to control the economy, unquote. Now that's what's going to have to happen now again. Some state is going to have to sue the Biden administration for this punitive taxation and insane spending. Now, I have told you that Joe Biden is by far the most leftist president in U.S. history, not liberal, leftist. He is now going into the socialistic realm by spending $6 trillion, as I said, to elevate the poor artificially. Artificially. They're not earning it. They're going to be given it. And it comprises many things. That's socialism.